Crispy air-fried Japanese sweet potatoes. Start by slicing the sweet potatoes as thin as possible, toss them in olive oil and seasoning, and give it a good mix until it feels good. Air fry at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. They come out so crispy.
Air fryers, a healthier alternative to deep frying. Or are they? Would I recommend them as a registered nutritionist? Keep watching until the end to find out. So what exactly is air frying? Well, an air fryer is basically a hybrid between a deep fryer and a convection oven. It uses hot air to cook food, and it typically has a heating element and a fan that circulates the hot air around the food. In other words, an air fryer is a cleverly marketed oven. The food is placed in a basket or on a tray, and the hot air cooks it by circulating around it. The hot air causes a crispy, fried-like texture on the outside of the food while keeping the inside moist. But is this kitchen appliance full of hot air, or is it actually a good cooking method? Let's find out. First, we're going to compare it with deep frying. The obvious difference is that the deep fryer requires a few liters of oil and the air fryer requires, well, none, which is a good thing. Why? Well, it means you'll be using little or no oil, and so you'll be consuming fewer calories. In fact, a study demonstrated that food cooked using an air fryer was substantially lower in fat. Too much fat in our diet is not good for us because it can lead to weight gain and a host of health problems. Using an air fryer can decrease intake of saturated fat, which would also contribute to decreased risk for the development of cardiovascular disease. Consuming excess saturated fat can increase the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. In fact, the American Heart Association recommends that adults should limit the intake of saturated fat to no more than 6% of total daily calories and keep trans fat intake as low as possible. Seems the air fryer is the clear winner versus the deep fryer. So it must be the magic bullet to cooking healthier, right? Well, that may not be the case. Let me explain. Like with other forms of cooking such as deep frying and oven cooking, air frying can cause the formation of potentially harmful compounds in certain foods. For example, it can cause the formation of acrylamide, a potentially carcinogenic compound in potato chips. But don't throw your air fryer away you got for Christmas just yet. Air frying is supposed to lower the risk of acrylamide formation compared to other cooking methods. Also, it actually may be particularly helpful when cooking starchy foods like potatoes. Why? Well, this is because foods generally take a longer time to be air fried than deep fried, and the starch tends to break down less in this setting. What does this mean? Well, it means the starch may be more digestible and could potentially have a slightly lower impact on blood sugar, but you'll still need to be mindful of carbohydrates in your air fried foods. Other possible pros of an air fryer are that air fryers can cook food quickly, which can save time in the kitchen. They are also versatile. Air fryers can be used to cook a variety of foods, not just chips.
He was like, oh, I've got an air fryer, it's amazing. I was like, oh yeah, what have you cooked in it? He's like, oh, just chips, really.
You can cook meats, vegetables, and even desserts. Yes, even desserts. So are air fryers good for you? Well, it really depends on how you use them. If you use them in moderation and as part of a balanced diet, they can be a great way to reduce the amount of oil you use when cooking. Also, because cooking in the oven and air frying utilizes similar heating techniques, hot air, food will generally end up in the same nutrient profile regardless of the appliance you choose. However, you should be mindful of the overall quality of the food you're cooking and the portion size. They are not a magic solution for healthy eating. They are a tool that can be used in conjunction with other healthy cooking methods and a balanced diet. Even though an air fryer can be a healthy cooking option, you still need to be mindful of your overall diet and not relying solely on air frying. Don't expect miracles if you're just using your air fryer to cook chips or Oreos.
Oreos are one of my favorite snacks, and I was super curious to see if you could air fry an Oreo. Today I decided to test it out. I got some Oreos and a can of Pillsbury croissant rolls. First, I laid out the croissant rolls and cut them in half. Now it's time to put the Oreo in the center and fold up the edges. Covering the Oreo into the air fryer, they go for 5 to 6 minutes at 320 degrees until they're golden brown. Oh my gosh, y'all, these look so good.
Be aware of how often you use the air fryer and to balance it with other cooking methods and not to consume too much processed foods. So, should you buy one? Whether or not you buy an air fryer depends on your individual needs and preferences. Here are a few factors to consider before making a purchase. Think about your cooking habits. If you frequently deep fry food or cook frozen foods, an air fryer could be a great option for you as it allows you to cook food with less oil, resulting in healthier meals. Also consider your kitchen space. If you have limited kitchen space, an air fryer could be a good option as it is compact and takes up less space than a traditional deep fryer or oven. And you'll need to consider your budget. Air fryers can be more expensive than traditional frying methods, so you'll need to consider if the investment is worth it for you. They can range in price from around $50 to $300 or more. Some of the most popular brands of air fryers include Philips, GoWise, and Ninja. You might also want to consider cooking preferences. If you prefer to cook with minimal oil and want to try new recipes, then an air fryer could be a great option for you. If you have dietary restrictions or health concerns such as diabetes or heart disease, an air fryer could be a good option for you as it allows you to cook food with less oil. Ultimately, the decision to buy an air fryer is a personal one and depends on your individual needs and preferences. If you are considering buying an air fryer, it's best to do your research. There are lots of reviews on YouTube. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then hit that subscribe button to watch more videos just like this. Remember, enjoy food and stay happy and healthy. Catch you on the next one.